Power Rangers Dino Fury, the current iteration of the Power Rangers franchise and the 28th and 29th seasons of the show overall. Could it actually be getting more toys in 2023? Could it actually have a third year in the toy line, even if it's not the main show? Maybe, but that's what we're going to be discussing here today on Toku Theory. That's right, guys, it's the grand return of Toku Theory, a series that I'm sure no one even knew that I did because I've only ever made one episode of it, and that was 15 months ago in March of 2021, where I talked about the Geartliners' different sounds and what that could possibly mean for more members of the Zenkaigers. Now, did that video age well? No! Not really at all, actually. Although I was kind of more right about the Zenkai canon, even though the Zenkai canon wasn't even a thing, or the Zenroku Zenkai canon wasn't even a thing that was leaked at the time that I made that video, so I was kind of right about that, even though I didn't know it. But basically today, we have a listing and kind of some other things to kind of talk about to kind of point us in the possible direction of where the 2023 Power Rangers toy line is going to be going. And that could potentially point to more Dino Fury toys. Now, we don't know how much more there could be, but I am already kind of seeing more stuff than I was expecting. And by that, I mean like one thing, honestly. So we're going to have to kind of dive into it here and figure it out. Because the centerpiece here could be Dino Fury Gold, which is not the Ranger I would have ever associated kind of being the figurehead of next year's toy line, because he probably isn't. But it's possible that his morpher could be. So this all is a story that begins a couple of weeks ago on Twitter by Twitter user Ranger Select, who sometimes stumbles upon listings and such like I do for the Lightning Collection or what have you. And basically it was an early Saturday morning. I had already put out an episode of Lightning Storm, although I actually hadn't released it yet. It was just sitting here ready to go live at noon like it always does. And I was just sitting in bed and I get this message that's like, hey, here's this listing on Amazon for a PRG Waldo. And then of course I immediately freak out because I'm like, oh shoot, is that a new Lightning Collection listing? Let me see what I can figure out about it. Am I going to have to like take down Lightning Storm and re-edit it before it even goes live and people would never even know? No, I didn't have to do that because I did some more research on it and I was able to figure out what it was pretty easily. So basically the original listing, or at least the one that Ranger Select found, had PRG Waldo up on Amazon Italy. Now obviously this is a code name, PRG Waldo, and sometimes when listings go up like this, if you just change the different Amazon like country in the browser like URL, so like change it from .it, which is .italy, or .italy, which is Amazon Italy, to .com is US and stuff like that, you can sometimes get like what the actual product is, because some Amazons don't code name it when they should, or some of them give you more clues. So I tried a bunch of different Amazons, no luck on a lot of them, and this sometimes happens, but with Amazon Mexico, I finally got a match. It still says PRG Waldo, but right there in the description, it does actually say PRG DNF Gold Ranger Blaster. Now, this is very interesting for a couple of different reasons. First of all, DNF is the code name for the vast majority of the Dino Fury basic toyline products. We've seen this with the Zords, we've seen this with the figures, we've seen this with the Morphers before, which is very important. So there's really no reason to believe that this wouldn't be a Dino Fury product. Now, this is also a pretty high up there Hasbro product number, which we can also see in the description for this. And we will be coming back to that, the kind of product details part, because there's actually something important there as well. In such a high product number with like F6 is after a lot of the fall stuff that we already have, like the Blue Ranger helmet or Lance or something for the Lightning Collection. So this definitely seems to point to this being a either very late 2022 or like early 2023 item. Now, what's also interesting is that it says Gold Ranger Blaster. Now, really the only thing I can think of for a Dino Fury Gold Ranger Blaster would be his morpher, which is something that was definitely very much missing from the Dino Fury toy line in both Season 1 and so far in Season 2. For whatever reason, we never got it. We should have, probably. It was kind of like the prime candidate to become a Nerf gun, you know? I'm sure we all thought that Hasbro was going to make this as a Nerf gun, just like they did for the Cheetah Blaster during Beast Morphers, or, you know, the Gold and Silver Rangers Morpher in Beast Morphers, even though we never got kind of a quote-unquote like deluxe version of that morpher that everybody kind of would have wanted, or collectors would have wanted. We got the Nerf Blaster, and everybody thought, oh yeah, they're just going to turn, you know, this one into a morpher Nerf Blaster thing anyway. Also, speaking of Nerf, I just want to show you guys Murph, the new mascot that Hasbro has decided is going to represent the Nerf brand. They revealed them this past Friday, and it is wonderfully terrifying, but I just want to make sure you guys got to see that if we're talking about Nerf here, because if you guys are traumatized by that as I am, good. But anyway, moving on from that, what could this be? What could this mean? So what's interesting about this is that I've also heard some possible information that this is going to be coming out sometime around February of 2023, retailing for about $33.99, which is very expensive for what this should be. That also kind of points to the idea that this is going to be more than just a Nerf gun. It could still be one in some capacity of some sort, but the description actually does, going back to that, have it listed as having batteries or taking batteries or needing them for some particular reason. And it's not like Nerf blasters don't need batteries for certain things. I know some make sounds. I know some of them have like, auto firing features with darts or little foam balls or something. So I don't know if they would kind of put that kind of feature into the Gold Ranger's Morpher, but maybe. I don't know how much they would want to redesign it to do something more than what we kind of just see it do in the show, which is just kind of be a Morpher and kind of be a blaster and also have the sword attached, but we're probably not going to get the sword. But what's interesting about that is if that release date holds true, and if this is going to be a little bit more advanced than our typical like Nerf blasters, it kind of points to this being sort of just the default Morpher for the 2023 toy line, or at least like the kids toy line. Obviously not like Lightning Collection or anything like that, which is very interesting because you would think that the kind of figurehead of the 2023 toy line would be whatever Season 30 is. But I don't know if you guys have been figuring out recently, Hasbro doesn't want to tell us anything about Season 30. So we know very small pieces of information about it that we've had from like the Illuminati posting stuff and everything. But like Hasbro's been radio silent on any official announcements for if there's even a Power Ranger season next year. There is, but we don't know like much about it whatsoever. So we don't really know how a kind of a adult Lightning Collection toy line and a kind of kid-oriented show toy line would work next year as it's always worked, because right now we don't have a season announced. So the thing is though is that we're at that point in the year where we should start seeing listings, and this is probably one of them, for 2023 toys. So going into that there, it's possible that Dino Fury could just kind of continue to be the 2023 toy line, or maybe in some capacity. Maybe we'll do sort of a half toy line thing, maybe like, especially if Season 30, which we know would be a Netflix exclusive thing, and it's probably a shorter season with longer episodes. So that's kind of what we've sort of been hearing. If that's what is it going to happen, maybe we won't get like brand new Power Rangers content until kind of like the back half of 2023, maybe closer to the actual 30th anniversary, which would be August 28th, 2023. Maybe the front half of the year would be kind of focused on some kind of carryover Dino Fury stuff, and maybe that's why we haven't seen listings for the other Zords yet. Everybody kind of assumed we're not going to be getting those, but maybe we actually will. I still feel like it's probably unlikely, but I had thought the ship had sailed on getting Gold Ranger's Morpher, and it looks like we are, so it's definitely possible. Now also we have those 4 figures that have leaked, and we have like nice official promo images of 2 of them, the Void King, Lord Zed, Blue Ranger with the Terra armor, and Dino Master Gold. We know we're getting those figures, and there's really no reason why those shouldn't just be a fall wave of Dino Fury figures. There's still time for those to come out this year, but it's also possible that those could be kind of a first wave of next year's toy line if kind of this idea of a half year of Dino Fury stuff is true. It might not even be true at all. I'm not saying that this is a leak or anything. It's just kind of speculation, kind of based off of sort of what we're working with and sort of what we're seeing here, and kind of just trying to connect some dots if there's even some dots to connect. I just think it's something interesting to talk about here, and that's pretty much all I really have to say about it, but it does look like we are going to be getting a Gold Ranger Morpher blaster of some kind. Will it be Nerf? Who knows? All we know is that it takes batteries. It's a thing that's coming. It'll probably be out at the end of 2022 or early 2023, and it could potentially give us sort of a slight insight to what Hasbro could be planning for at least the basic toy line for the 30th anniversary. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Today's kind of Toku Theory episode was sort of, like I said, just speculation on all this stuff. It could also age just as badly as that Zenkaiju video. That's why I don't do Toku Theory videos that often, because I pretty much just talk about confirmed news and not necessarily rumors, I guess, kind of. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it down in the comments below. Do you think I'm kind of onto something here? Are you expecting something completely different? Do you think this is just going to be some kind of stray Dino Fury toy that we're just getting out of nowhere and it really has nothing to do with next year's toy line? Or do you think that we could be getting more listings that will kind of point to sort of forming an idea of what to expect for next year? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it down in the comments below. And so next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or at LiveRangerPR, and I'll see you all later.